Well, hello. Today is Sunday, May 7th, and we do have some birthdays today. Today is Patty Casey's birthday, so Patty, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patty. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also William Hellman's birthday, so William, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear William. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you both have a great birthday, but we also have an anniversary because today is Suzanne and Greg Freese. I think it is Freese. Suzanne and Greg, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary, happy, 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 happy anniversary. Well, I hope you have a great, great anniversary. Today would have been my parents' 77th anniversary, but I'm sure they're celebrating up in heaven together. My father's been gone since 1983, and my mother passed in 2008. So since 2008, I'm sure every May 7th they've been celebrating more than you will ever know. They've met my mother's sister, my Aunt Ag. We used to call her Aggie Waggy Baggy Knees. She was married to my Uncle Warren, who we called Warnigator. Don't know why. I told you in my family we always have nicknames for everybody. But Warnigator and Aggie Baggy Waggy Knees, couldn't think of that for a minute, were married. And my mother had gone down to Florida where my aunt was living because my uncle was stationed down there. I don't know what the name of the naval base was. I should probably know, but I don't. And she invited my mother to come spend a week with her. And my Uncle Warren was on leave, and he brought home his best buddy, Eddie. And him and my mother met, and they ended up getting married. And my mother left me all of her love letters. And every once in a while, I get out her love letters and just read them. When she gave them to me when she was alive. And I said, Mom, those are personal, and I don't think it's right for me to read them because that was between you and Dad. And she said, no, I want you to have them. I want you to read them because I want you to know how much your father loved us, loved all of you, loved me and all of us. And at the time, we were dreaming of having a child, and you were the one we wanted. And so we talk about it a lot. And my parents got married in 1946, and I was not born until 1950. The only disappointment I thought that there might be is that all of the letters my father was talking about his first son that was going to be born, and he couldn't wait till his first son was going to be born, and they were going to name him Bruce. That would have been me. My name would have been Bruce. I don't like that name myself, even though I have a brother-in-law named Bruce. It's just not a name that I don't know. Not that I like Sandra all that much better. So I guess he just chose like a name that he really liked. But I never felt that I was a disappointment, even though I was not the boy. But I think back then, when you had your first child, you always wanted to be a son. So I think that's just the way it was. I was a tomboy, so I think he got part of his request because I am not a girly girl. I've never been a girly girl. And I never really wore makeup or curled my hair. I was always a tomboy at heart. And I never felt I was a boy. I always knew I was a girl, but I just knew that I like doing boy things. I don't know. I guess I can't explain it any better than that. I just don't. But anyway, today is, all of that being said, today is my parents' anniversary. So, and I still can't find my love letters that I have from Jim. I know I've had them for all my life since we've been going together and started dating in 1967. And it wasn't until we moved in this house that I haven't got my love letters. And so I lost them somehow in the move, I guess, because I don't know where they're at. I have all my pictures and my other things, but I don't have that. So anyway, all that being said, Suzanne and Greg, have a great anniversary because it just reminded me of my parents' anniversary too. And I like to remember them on their day also. But the funeral was yesterday. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was packed. It was just like there was so many people that it was standing room only. And I think what better tribute to a person than to have I'm going to cry, to have a standing room only room. I mean, it was like a double room. It wasn't like a single little room. She was the only one in the funeral home. And So at one point, my sister had gone to tell the director that they needed more chairs because there weren't enough people. And she says, well, we have all the chairs. We don't have any other chairs. Only because my family is so forceful did she point out that there was 4 other rooms, and Kathy was the only one in the home at the particular time that was having a funeral. There was no other people, dead people. I don't know what you call them. I know there's a proper name, but anyway, the decedents, whatever. There was no more deceased in the home. Everybody else was alive, and so my sister pointed out, you have chairs in other rooms you could be putting them in. And it wasn't because of a fire hazard, because I understand you can't block aisles and stuff, and you got to be able to get to the doorways and that. But the way they had the chairs situated, there was definitely enough room to add another row. And guess what? We got another row. We did get another row of seats. They brought in another row of chairs and packed them in. There still was standing room. It was like people were just standing. That was it. And so then earlier in the week, Aaron's sister Amy had asked me had asked Christy to ask me. She didn't ask me personally, but she asked Christy to ask me because she didn't want to put me in a bad position if I would do a sort of reading at some point during the service. And I told Christy, of course I will. I'm definitely going to do that. And then I never heard any more about it. So I just figured, that was fine. I had my offer. I put an offer out because I had offered before that. And Christy had said, well, my mother had already offered. And so then I guess it just came around that they did ask me. And so the day of the funeral comes, and I still hadn't heard anything. And so I thought, oh, okay, fine, whatever. So we sat towards the back of the church, or not the church, the funeral home, because the service was at the funeral home. And so then the priest came in and started the service, and then he had someone come up and do the first reading, and then someone else came and did the second reading, and then the priest did the gospel, and then he did his homily, and he had only met her twice before she had passed, and you would have thought that he knew her. That's just the way Kathy was. She just made you feel like you've known her your whole life. And he spoke so eloquently about her that if you were not knowing any better, you would have thought that he knew her for years and years and years, or knew her for years and years and years, because he just put on a beautiful, beautiful eulogy for her. And so they got all done with all of that. And then he says, well, now Sandy has got a reading that she is going to read that's special to the family. And I thought, oh my gosh, they didn't give me anything to read. I'm going to have to go up there and wing it. It's just like, I thought, no, they're talking about a different Sandy. It's not me. I'm sure there's another Sandy in the room, or I'm sure they would have called me Sandra or something. And so I just sat there for a minute thinking that another Sandy was going to stand up. And no, their Sandy stood up. And so then the priest once again said, Sandy? And so I thought, okay, it's me. So I'm walking up there like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? And even the priest, he said, well, I don't see anything written. And then Christy handed me her phone, and it was on her phone. And so I was reading it. It was the eulogy that was printed in the obituary for the papers. And I hadn't even read that beforehand. I don't like to do a cold read. You've seen me doing my meeting highlights, that even when I've done a cold read, or I've read it a couple times, I still kind of stumble over the words. And I thought this is too important an occasion for me to mess up. And so I was a little apprehensive that I hadn't read it beforehand, that I wouldn't know what I was going to say. And so I just started reading it. And I did make a mistake. The one grandson's name is Andrew. I called him Andrea. And Christy pointed out right away. She said, no, it's Andrew. And I went, oh, I am so sorry, Andrew. And then I look at it, it says, yeah, it does say Andrew. And everybody kind of chuckled just a little bit, kind of put me at ease, I guess. And so then I continued on with it. And then I just couldn't help myself, because I never knew this about Kathy, was that she took in stray cats and took care of them and fostered them and got them healthy and then found homes for them. I never knew that. But when I was reading it in the obituary, I couldn't help but stop and say, I never knew that about Kathy. That's really admirable that she does that. And then I realized, you're off script, Sandy, get back on the script, But so I did finish, and we went and sat down. And so then they had people, then they asked for people to speak, and thoughts of Kathy. And no one was standing up. And I thought, I always hate when they do that at a funeral. I always hate it unless you know someone for sure is going to say something, because it just looks, nobody wants to stand up because nobody likes to talk in front of people. The exception being me. I don't have a problem talking in front of people. I don't have a problem talking to people I don't even know. There was a whole room full of people I didn't really know because there was a lot of people there. She was a paraprofessional in the Mount Clemens School District for 37 years. So she had all of them. She had all of her personal friends. I wouldn't know her personal friends. Her family, Lenny's family, which was Aaron's father. There was so many people I didn't know. And nobody was standing up. And I'm thinking, this is why I hate this, because then it looks like nobody wants to say anything about, behalf of the deceased. And then thankfully her best friend finally stood up and said something. And so then that kind of picked up the ball. People started standing up and talking and that. And so now I'm waiting for someone in my family to stand up and represent the family. And of course, no, because they're all looking at the oldest, the matriarch of the family. It's your responsibility, Sandy. So get up and say something. So I did get up and say something. And I just wanted to commend her as a mother, because I told you that my greatest accomplishment, I think, in my life is when I'm past, and someone will say, boy, she was a damn good mom. She was a damn good grandma, too. You might not be able to say anything else about her, but you can say that she was a damn good mom and a damn good grandma. And that's what Kathy was. And I had to say that. And so I got up like a blubbering fool, like I am right now, and said all of those things about her because they were true. She raised such great kids. All of Aaron's brothers and sisters, anytime they see me, not just at a funeral. I don't know if it's that they know I don't like to get hugged, so they just do it anyhow, but they hug me all the time. Every time I meet them, I get the biggest hug from them. And like I said, I'm getting better. I am getting better getting hugs. And especially his brother Danny, he gives you such a deep, deep hug. It's like you feel it to your toes. It's just like there's no getting around it. He's a good hugger, about his brother Danny. So, and this is coming from somebody that doesn't hug. So if I am not a hugger and I compliment you on a hug, you're a damn good hugger. So, because it was kind of funny, because every time I saw Aaron, I would give him a hug and I'd say, oh, guess what you're getting? You're getting a hug. And he goes, okay, I'm braced for it, because he knows I don't like giving hugs. But it was a nice day. It really, the day was beautiful. The service was beautiful. Kathy was beautiful. Like, I always hate when people say, oh, she looks so nice in the coffin. And you think, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, she's dead. But oh my gosh, she just looks so at peace. And I just think that if you've lived a good life and you've gone on to heaven, you'll look very peaceful in your casket. And you just look like God wants you to look, happy. Because even though she was deceased, she looked happy. She really did. I mean, I know she missed her family, but now she's in the room with them all the time. She's with them constantly, whether they like it or not. They're with them constantly, because that's how I feel about my loved ones that have passed, because they're in this room with me right now. I know they are. So anyway, let's end this before. Oh my gosh, what a blubbering fool. Blubbering fool that I am. But you know what? There's no crying in baseball. That's my favorite line. Anyway. Thank you once again. This will be the last time I thank you. But oh, you know what? I did get some mail. I get some mail. I did check the mail. I'll be right back. On the way home from the funeral yesterday, we did stop at the post office to see if I got any mail, and I did get some mail. So let me open this to see. Oh, I know crying is a part of life, but I don't like to cry in public. I cry a lot in private, but I don't like to cry in public. But Becky and Craig Fisher sent a card for Aaron and Christy, and I'll make sure that I get them to her and Aaron, and then they sent us a card or something. Thinking of you with sincerest sympathy. Many treasured memories bring comfort and ease your loss. Love, Becky and Craig Fisher. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. And like I said, I wanted to make sure I thanked everybody for all your thoughts and prayers, your condolences. They just mean the world to me and to Aaron and my whole family. We just love that you take the time out of your busy day just to say a quick little prayer for us, and it really means a lot. So let's compose ourselves now, Sandy. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And I'm going to go sit in that chair and be a blubbering idiot.